Here at Wrigley Field, and it's a beautiful evening. It will get even warmer here for Thursday and Game 3. Upper 60s, hopefully low 70s, possibly, I don't believe it, but it could happen. And look who we have here. We found some sports writers on the off day, not having the steak dinner, not out there getting ready for their next magazine article. They're here ready to work. Ken Rosenthal and Joel Sherman. Hello, fellas.
Ready to work. Ready to work. Do you believe he had the time after telling Francona and Manna how to manage tomorrow to actually do the show here today?
It's amazing he's getting anything done with all the mismanagement going on. The entire post.
All right. Thank you for joining us back on cable TV. It's nice to have you back here. And it is a little
warmer. A lot of cable TV.
I know. Those were rough conditions before we get to free agent. I mean, that was rough last night in Cleveland, wasn't it?
It was, and if you judge Trevor Bauer, you have to take that into account. I didn't think he was very good. I don't know that he would have been very good if it was ideal conditions. But at the same time, when you're looking at him at Game 5 on 3 days rest, you have to factor that in. Will they go back to him? That, to me, is an open question.
Right. Yeah, I think that was the question about Kluber's use. It meant having to go to everyone else unless you were going to bullpen a game. I thought they were more likely going to try to do like a Salazar, Merritt kind of game, just stack it all together and try to win one like that instead of using everybody short. Speaking
of bullpenning, I mean, we're seeing Andrew Miller, we're seeing Aroldis Chapman. They were on the same team with Dellin Betances in New York for a good part of this. It boggles the mind they had that much talent in one bullpen.
The problem was they had very little talent anywhere else, outside of maybe Tanaka. I believe that nobody on that team, aside from Gary Sanchez, had more than 150 plate appearances, had an OPS plus above 100. I mean, they really struggled in other areas in the rotation, and I think they did the right thing, and in some ways they did the right thing for these teams. The Yankees were hoping to be good this year and be in it, and they used Chapman 3 days in a row, only one time, and Miller 3 days in a row, not at all, hoping to preserve them for August, September, and October. They did. They just did it for the Chicago Cubs and the Cleveland Indians.
And, Brian, it's nice that Joel's here because he wrote all that in an article that you read, and otherwise you would not have that information from one of the great baseball writers in America.
Thank goodness
now,
there's someone doing some reporting.
What's fascinating to me about the whole situation here is that the Indians could have had Chapman, the Cubs could have had Miller, but each team saw the fit as the other way. And the Indians actually were willing to give up more, a team that traditionally does not trade prospects, but they were not interested in a rental. They not only didn't want Chapman, they didn't want Melanson if everything else fell apart. So they go to Miller, they give up the extra prospect, the extra elite prospect, the two, Sheffield and, of course, Frazier, and here they are. The Cubs, on the other hand, you would think, they've got plenty of prospects, they can give up whoever they want and get Miller. No, they didn't want to do that. They wanted the potential free agent, and each team's choice is on display here.
I would throw this out as just two people who intensely cover the July 31st trade market. I think that these two teams being here bodes well for next July 31st, that you can actually change your arc with what you do in July. I mean, I think one of the things Brian Cashman said encouragingly is, I hope these guys succeed. It opens the avenue to do this kind of stuff in the future. If they fail, they wouldn't be able to.
I absolutely agree with that. And in recent years, we haven't seen deals with that kind of impact. On occasion, we have. Lester for Cespedes was one, but that was for both teams. But there have been a lot of articles written